But so I was in the chat for a little while. I was like, I joined late, so I don't remember who said it. But I was one of the people who kept it muted 90% of the time because that thing was plopping. But yeah, so I'm with Wes. I also didn't partake in like any of that nasty shit. That's disgusting. I also want to say, Rico, that apology, like, that was just that is the first one, man. Like, you got to be direct. You got to apologize for the shit you did. Don't bring your career into it. That's just kind of selfish. Anyway, back to the chat. So, from what I can remember, I do remember there being nasty pictures sent. There was just random shit. Like, people would come in and just start talking about women, like, through Panther's Twitter. What's the word I'm looking for? Just, like, making them as objects.
Objectifying, yeah.
Objectifying, thank you. Like I said,
yes, sir.
Sorry. But,
hey, you
yeah, like, just, like, extremely objectifying women, talking shit about random dudes, calling them simps. And, like, to this day, I still feel horrible that I didn't say anything to these people or just go live or, like, call people out or anything. So I do apologize to everyone affected. That's on me. I should have said something. But, yeah, man, like, and then I remember, I don't know if y'all remember Tate, but, I remember one day specifically, like, he popped in and said something like, hey, this chat isn't what it used to be. It's not what it was created for. Because, like, genuinely, when we joined the chat, it was for, like, we were talking Bible verses, like, we were talking about life, giving each other advice, etc., etc. And then, like, one day it just flipped. And it just turned into this nasty, toxic environment. And, like, I do remember Tate popping in being like, hey, guys, like, this isn't what the chat was created for. But not 5 to 10 messages later, it was back to the same bullshit. And it was disgusting. And, yeah, like I said, like, I feel bad I didn't say anything sooner. I know there's a couple of us that were, like Wes, we were just kind of in there in the middle of the shit, just trying to, like, keep our heads down kind of thing. I don't know if that's the right word, but, just, like, minding our business. I guess that's the best way to put it. But, yeah, like, shit just got nasty, and that's essentially what was going on, I guess. I don't know if that's a good explanation, but that's the bottom line. Yeah.
Hey, hold on. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. So, actually, let me not say that shit. Just the shit, man, this shit is like, this shit is fucking sick, bro. Like,
bro, like, they were, like, sharing nudes in there, and, like, you was just, like, chilling, like,
this is some wild shit. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know everything until now. Like, I didn't know nothing about all that nude shit. I just heard it was a group chat. Someone went left. I didn't know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's why at first I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But now that I know what I know, like, oh yeah, no, that's sick, bro. Like, that's fucking sick, bro. Like, I'm not condoning that shit.
Like, granted, I did make some really good friends out of the chat, I will say. My guy Drew, and that I just went to Atlanta with, and my guy Nick, me and him, like, we're really close now.
Hold on. Big shout outs to Drew, bro. Big shout outs to Drew. Big shout out to Drew. Drew cool.
That's my guy. But yeah, like, it's my fault. Yeah, like, between Drew and Nick, those are my guys. Like, they're some of the closest friends I've ever met, especially through Twitter. But, like, yeah, man, like, everybody else, not everybody, let me not say that, but, those that were called out for doing that nasty shit. And, like, I'm sorry I keep going back to this, but, like, back to that, or what Mason had to say, as far as, like, it just sounded like he was sorry he got caught more than anything.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro.
I just want to say
that video he made. It was
right. And, like, I genuinely wanted to give that man another shot, because I heard he came back in here wanting to apologize, like, speak his mind and, like, set things straight. And I was like, all right, let's see what he has to say. It was the same bullshit as that first video. And like,
and that's my problem, bro. I didn't hear not one bit of accountability.
Bro, he was just talking about his life, bro. He was talking about his lame-ass life, bro. Like, we don't care, bro.
I told him to get more direct. He would never go there.
Right.
I'm like, okay, because as I'm telling him get more direct, I'm learning more information.
Bro, like, he danced around
I'm like, bro, you're not even being apologetic for real.
Well, at the same time, though, like, you say that, well, you gotta, like, for future reference, alright? Like, you gotta make sure that's in your presence again. Like, you gotta hold your shit down and be like, hey, bro, like, we can't tolerate straight up.
Right, you're right. Yeah, like I said, like,
it's all about, like, creating a healthy environment for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So in order to do that, bro, like, you gotta hold your shit down and ensure that all the people on that weird shit, like, they don't feel comfortable because
I should have stepped up and said something. Like, I 100% still regret that to this day.
Yeah, well, it should have, would have, could have at this point. Just like in the future, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely learned from it. I promise you that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give y'all some backstory, get my thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of thing.
This shit is.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for coming in and sharing your piece. But
yeah, of course,
man. Like, fellas, man, we gotta. I ain't even gonna say we, cause I wouldn't even do some shit like that, man. Like, just some of y'all sickos out there, man. Y'all gotta do better with this shit. Like,
it's not even like I'm gonna just keep it a buck, bro. Like, it's not even just the sickos, bro. Like, it's like the folks, like, and it's not me coming at you, bro, but it's like the folks that like don't say shit and they just like approve of it silently, because honestly, like, silence is approval. It's almost like the Desmond Tutu quote about, like, you know, silence, you on the side of the oppressor and all that good stuff. But I ain't gonna get into that bag tonight. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanna like actually protect those who are violated, bro, like, you gotta speak up, dog. Straight up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And like, I want you to know when I say this, I'm not trying to save face. Like I said, I know like, me not saying anything was wrong. I think another thing with me, like y'all can probably hear, it's hard. Like, I'm struggling speaking right now. It doesn't justify it, again. I was so scared of, like, hopping in there and saying something and then me getting attacked. Because these were, like, the first people I had ever interacted with. And I was looking to make some friends. It was not the crowd I should have been around. Definitely learned that quick. And I learned, like, I took a lot away from that. That chat definitely opened my eyes.
So I want to say it from a girl's. I wasn't on Twitter, like, actively during the whole King City thing, because I was studying for my boards and just doing my school thing. But honestly, just hearing all this, because I've heard from people that were part of King City, I've heard from girls that have been victims, and me being a victim, not of King City, but of just in general being a victim of just feeling my privacy violated and harassment. I feel sick. Like, I feel sick to my stomach. And imagine his victims right now listening to that BS apology and not owning his shit. Like,
exactly.
Honestly, I feel like crying for his victims. Like, I feel really sick to my stomach right now, because I've experienced shit like that. Right. And if I feel like if someone that violated me went up to me, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I was drunk at the club that one time. Sir, I just turned 18. I'm like a whole foot shorter than you. What the fuck did you think I was supposed to do? How was I supposed to fight you off? Same thing with his victims. How do you think they feel right now with that fucking BS apology saying, oh, I was 18. So, 18 doesn't, I mean, yes, you were young.
Right.
But you have a daughter, sir.
Yeah,
excuse me. You have a fucking daughter, and you need to... What if your daughter heard that? Right. What if that same exact thing happens to your daughter in the future on Twitter? How the fuck are you supposed to react?
Be pissed.
So, like, I am hurt, and I am pissed off.
Man, why the fuck they do get on here and then apologize, man?
That man came back in here and dipped.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
my question is this, because it sounds like the messages were ongoing why did people stay in the chat? Even if you disagreed silently with what he was doing, why would you stay in the chat?
Why was you still in there dealing with?
That's what I'm just wondering. You had the notifications off or not. Like, it's so easy to leave a group chat.
And first of all,
that's who you want to associate yourself. Like,
y'all as men end up passing dudes around. Like,
hey, yo, can I speak real quick? Like, that's who you first with.
My JJ speak real quick.
Real quick. Hey, well, first of all, I wanted to let you know that what a couple of these guys said about, the group starting out to be something that was good, that was legit. So King City started maybe like a month or two after I got on Panther's Twitter, and I was automatically invited into the group. And so when I first started checking it out, there was a bunch of spiritual stuff, like Bible references, like somebody mentioned. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It was about, male empowerment, just talking about stuff, people being able to rely on each other. It felt dope. And I really didn't know who all the participants were. But probably about 3 or 4 months into it, it started kind of shifting a little bit. And I was like, whoa, like what's going on? But it wasn't like to the point where y'all talking now where I never saw anybody share pictures or anything like that because I did get out. But before I got out, I actually pulled Mason aside through the DMs and said, hey, look, Mason, I don't know what you're doing right now, but this room is way different from how it used to be. I said, I'm not always in here because, like somebody said, it used to be going off so much to where, like, people would be sending messages, like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I would mute it, and I would just check in just to see how the fellas was doing, but every time I would check in, it would be a little bit more negative and a little bit more negative until it got to a point to where I was like, look, man, I wanted to be in here because I wanted to support you, right? Because I thought Mason was a decent little dude when I first met him. Well, first of all, I didn't know how young he was until I got to really, truly know him. But when I saw him shift and, his personality changed a little bit in the room and, like, outside the room as he became more of a personality in his wrestling thing, I was like, man, I pulled him aside. I said, Mason, I don't like what you got going on in the room, bro. I said, you need to tell people to chill out on some of the stuff that they're doing, including you. I said, you need to chill out a little